I can't help but think that Hearts have got the two best strikers, the two most dangerous strikers between the three teams that are going to fight this out. And I can't help but imagine if you're a Hearts player and you're looking around inside that dressing room, you're about to go out and play Dundee this weekend, you know what's on the line. See if you're looking about over your left shoulder and you see Lon Shankland, and then you go over your right shoulder and you see Claudio Braga. You're thinking to yourself, we've got a chance. We've got a real chance today. All we need to do is do our jobs and give them a bit of service because one of them will score. And I think that must be a brilliant feeling before you're going out into these games that really matter. Whereas if you're in the Celtic dressing room or you're in the Rangers dressing room, I think you're looking about going, who's got to step up today? Where's the goals coming from?
Yeah.
And I know that Celtic have scored. I know that Celtic have scored a lot of goals, and Yang weighed in with a couple, and Nygren's been incredible. I'd get a lot more comfort if I was in that dressing room. I looked about and I saw two strikers that I thought, if we just need to get the ball up with them, we just need to give them service. They're guaranteed goals.
Yeah,
and I think that is crucial and could make the difference between now and the end of the season. And I expect Hearts to get a win this weekend, and it wouldn't surprise you at all, by the way, if Lon Shankland either starts, comes off the bench and gets a goal and just picks up where he left off. That's, I think, what did we say, 31 goals so far between Shankland and Claudio Braga so far this season. That's a hell of a contribution.
And it's not even, you're talking about creating chances with Shankland. You don't need to do that with Shankland. The ball drops.
No, he'll create them for himself.
The ball drops in the box. Who do you want to be snatching onto it? It would be Lon Shankland. No offence to kind of Cabori and all that stuff, but Shankland's a man. If any loose ball in that box, one hit, he's your man. Yep. It's just a major kind of boost for them, isn't it? Actually, even psychologically, after a kind of rough week, after come out and a lot of doubts came sneaking in, it just lifts the mood and it gets them going again, doesn't it? So yeah, it's all set for them.
John in the comments says this assumes Shankland hits the ground running. He's been out injured a good while, but McKenna, the big jump,
8 weeks, he's fine.
McKenna says he's looked sharp in training.
He's only 8 weeks, not come back 2 stone overweight.
Right. We've got a couple other comments. One last visit to the comments before we wrap up, guys. Marzino says Hearts are going to draw, Aberdeen are going to win, they can't lose every match. Celtic, easy win. Chick says Hearts are about to nosedive, and your loyal Muppet, who's a big Rangers man, says Hearts have had too many draws and a couple of losses. They're collapsing. It's Celtic's title to lose now. I'm sad to admit it. Do you guys both think that all three of the title chasers will get 3 points at the weekend?
I'm not sure.
What's a different question?
Well, who do you think might drop points? Let me put up the fixtures again, just for everyone.
I think we're now getting to the meat and two veg part here, aren't we? Celtic.
The meat and two veg part.
Excuse me.
Celtic have done really well to get through a really potentially tricky part of the season. It's now about how they kick on from there. If they can go up to Tannadice at the weekend on Sunday, now I think that Hearts will take 3 points. I think Rangers will take care of Aberdeen. Whether or not Danny Rowe listens to my tactical advice, I still think they'll have enough. So I'm going for 2 home wins there. Then the onus and the spotlight goes on to Celtic on the Sunday. And I think we'll get a real indicator of where they are. Mick said at the last weekend it felt as if this was a big weekend for Celtic in terms of a shift of momentum. And I'm inclined to agree with that. But it only lasts until the next game. Right now, this is just the nature of the beast. I think if Celtic go up to Tannadice, really take care of business and back down the road with 3 points, I think you are starting to look at a significant plot twist. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're going to get from Celtic Tannadice. I'm not sure, and I wouldn't be astonished if they dropped a couple, and the whole thing starts to pivot again.
What do you think, Mick?
I actually fancy, the more I think about it, I actually fancy all three to win this weekend. But this season has had, I mean, I know it's a bit of an easy way out, but anything could happen. When you're looking last week, Neil McCann taking points off Hearts. This week it's Stephen Pressley back at Tynecastle. I mean, what are the chances of those two, McCann and Pressley, both sticking a big stick in the spokes of the title?
By the way, Big Elvis thinks he gets a hard time off the Hearts fans for beating his chest when he was wearing a Celtic top. Oh my God! Can you imagine he goes there and derails the title?
Exactly, but I do fancy that. I fancy the. I think the three of them. There's a lot of interesting dynamics because of the timing. Again, you get Hearts with a chance to strike first. Rangers at tea time is an awkward one on a Saturday night. Well, the cliche is that Aberdeen always give Rangers a game, but do they? I mean, Aberdeen are a team looking they're wheeling towards the summer. I know they got a new manager, but he's no miracle worker. But he's hoping to get something on the board, but I don't see it at Ibrox. And then Celtic, I think Dundee United and another team that have been kind of, I'm not saying kind of crawling along or coasting, but they're seeming to be a wee bit kind of aimless this season. Losing 2 late goals last week was a disaster. And they've been played quite well for long periods and chucking a couple of late goals to their pals across the street. I think Celtic, I don't think any of these games are going to be straightforward 2 or 3-0 jobs. They're all going to be
nervous,
absolute battles and dramatic probably. So yeah, but I would maybe say all 3 will scrape by for another weekend.
There's no chance Aberdeen get anything at Ibrox. No, not this Aberdeen team. Surely not, Keith.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen Aberdeen teams go to Ibrox and get points in recent history, Daniel.
This Aberdeen team, though.
Not this Aberdeen team. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Look, they've got a new manager, and the first thing that Stephen Robson will make them is a harder team to play against, more difficult to get through. Rangers have got a problem creating chances. We've just been discussing it. So if Aberdeen come and put a robust defensive performance on and then hope to nick something in the break, who knows? I think that Aberdeen have been so poor all season. Even though that you'd like to think there'll be a new manager bounce, I don't know if he's working with a dead cat, you know? So how much of a bounce you get out of that, I don't know. And I just think, although it can work 2 ways, by both ways, the home crowd at Ibrox, you would think, gives Rangers a big advantage. But if Aberdeen do throw up the shutters and you're going an hour and it's still 0-0, the place will start to get a bit edgy, a bit agitated, and that could really help Aberdeen, and it could work against Rangers. So there's a lot on it. But I would think in terms of the quality that Rangers have got, they'll have enough to take care of Aberdeen.